Okay, so my YouTube studio, creative space, or as I like to call it, my workspace, has improved quite a bit in the past 2 weeks. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. So if you've seen the video that I posted 2 weeks ago, if you didn't see it, you can check it out. See the card up there. But if you did see that, I was talking about the problems with this room. I was essentially in the same room and it looked kind of like a blank slate. It kind of looked like, I don't know, it needed some work. So one of the biggest problems, I had two big issues. And one of the biggest ones was it needed a backdrop or something because I was using a floor drop for a backdrop. And underneath of that was just a bare sheetrock wall that had like 1,000 screws in it. And then over here, we had this very noisy window. So those things they were the two biggest problems. But then I wanted to consolidate my camera over here. I was using a tripod and I wanted to basically try to make my version of YouTube Studio on a stand. And well, that's where we're at right now. So some of this stuff I repurposed and some of this stuff I had to purchase. So if you don't know who I am, I'm a photographer, have had a photography business for the past 10, 11 years. And at one point I'd rent studio space, had a couple different places I rented studio space. But right now in my storage unit, I have all the stuff to set up a photography studio. So if I rented a studio space right now, within 3 hours, a couple people could carry all the stuff in and set up an amazing photography studio, not so much for video. So what I did was I went to my storage unit and I basically looked for all the stuff that I could use and repurpose over here to keep the budget down. And then I knew there were things that I was going to have to purchase. And then there were a few things that I didn't realize I would have to purchase. So in this video, that's what I want to basically show where I'm starting out at this point. So I'm going to take this camera. I got these DJI Action 5s, got 3 of them. Got this one, got that one up there, this one over here. So we're doing kind of a multi-camera shoot. So let's start with the main camera. Obviously the main camera is going to be the EOS R5, and I have a 24-70 on here right now, and I have it at 35 millimeter. I was experimenting with a 50 prime and I love that lens, but this 35 works good. I have a 35 prime, but it's an old used lens and it's very beat up. Anyway, that's the camera and it's on constant power running off of AC. So we don't have to worry about battery, anything like that. Now here I have a Kupo stand that's very similar to this, but I did go and opt to purchase the Neewer stand. It was not that expensive, but it's also not made as nice as the Kupo stand. But it's certainly made nice enough to do what it's doing in this room right here. So the boom arm is my Kupo boom arm. I have a couple of these. These are like the most amazing boom arms ever, and that's been repurposed. The stand I purchased. All this other stuff I already had and I'm repurposing. Grip heads, super clamps, more grip heads. This arm here, the Rode mic. This arm can also, I'm not using the Rode mic. I'm probably going to be using the DJI 3, but I have the Rode mic stuck on there. I'm going to experiment and see which I like best. Right now I'm loving these little wireless mics. These things are amazing. So let me get that back up there. And let's see what else I can say here. Of course, these, hey, you should go check out the video. I make these myself, and I made a video about this several years ago. And don't buy them, make them. Make them. You can make your own custom sizes. They're amazing. Anyway, I'll put a link to that video. Put the card up there. So obviously the big elephant in the room would be the light and the softbox. This I had to purchase. I have plenty of softboxes for photography, but nothing that would work good for constant lighting. I tried as best I could but I couldn't get anything to work the way I wanted it to work, make it work right. So let's see, what do we have? It's a GVM SD200B Pro. I purchased that. It came with a rectangle softbox, but I wasn't liking that. It was too small for what I can want to do. I got this 32 with a grid, 33, whatever it is. So that's what we're using for a light. And let's see, sandbags repurposed. These tables, this can be for the laptop. This can be like a little work table. And we got all kinds of miscellaneous, you know, magic arms, that kind of stuff. So let's go over here, and this is going to be my fill light. If I need a fill light, this is what I would use. And this is an old aperture. Everything you see here is repurposed. So this works off a battery, and it's a bicolor, can change color temperature. So that's the fill light. Up here is going to be the hair light, and this is a Genere wand light, and with barn doors. I have 3 of these. These things were great. I used to take them out on location and use them for fill lights and things like that for photography, and they work great for video. The boom arm, the light stand, all repurposed. So, and even the electrical setup down here, all this stuff is repurposed. These white cables are new. These RGBs, these are bowling lights. See if I can get it down here. They're very old, and this one works all the time. This one over here works part of the time. You got to turn it off, turn it back on. It'll stay on for a while. So that's a weak point. I got to get new RGB lights. These are a little too small for this. These would be good like to use in a corner for an accent light. I just purchased these MT89 made by Ulanzi. These things were about $29 at the time of making this video. And these things are great. They're nothing more than a telescoping tripod. I don't want to crush it with my foot. Anyway, so that's what I'm using there. The floor drop is, I don't know if I want to keep the floor drop. I keep ending up with a lot of this unevenness here. Don't like that. Power strip repurposed. So now let's go to, and we got to move this out of the way. Whoops, crashing into stuff. So here's the noisy window. We got a moving blanket. This is a huge moving blanket. It's thick, it's heavy, and it's folded over. Before we put this up, put some plastic, sealed the window, insulation, and then we just stapled it. And I didn't want to permanently fix it on there, so we just stapled it up there. So far, it's doing the trick. And there's another technique that I'm using for the noise as well, and that is I edit everything in DaVinci Resolve Studio 20, and they got amazing voice isolation in there. Since I made the last video, posted my last video, I went and I was checking out Resolve Studio. I mean, I've had Studio 18 and I just reluctant to update. I updated to 20 and I was checking out the voice isolation software, and it seems to be amazing. So let me sit back down here, and I don't know why. There we go. I like to be able to see, and sometimes the screen blacks out and then I'm just talking to like a black square, and I don't like that. Excuse me while I cough. Okay, so that's pretty much about it. That's where I'm at right now. Of course, links to everything you see in this video will be down below. And if you're interested, some of this stuff is obsolete. You wouldn't be like these bowling lights. You can get these, but I don't think you can get them from bowling. I think like Godox or somebody like that makes pretty much exactly the same light. And although this one over here is no good anymore, that he has, if you knew how much that light put up with, they're very good lights. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking out the video. I'm going to start recording in here in about an hour. I got some stuff that I need to record, and I got some personal stuff that I need to record, but then in about another hour after that, I'm going to start recording stuff for YouTube, hopefully. Just got to do something with that light over there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. A like would be very much appreciated. A subscribe would be even more appreciated. Like to get the subscriber count up if I could. Most of all, have a great day. Thank you.